back to another episode of TideWe Outdoors. Today I am walking back to check some trail cameras that I set almost like 2 months ago now. I kind of did a recap video about a month ago. Now we're going back out for the third time now to check these cameras, see what we got going on. I know I checked them early June. We had a lot of bucks on camera that were already starting to get pretty wide. Some of them were small, but we definitely had a lot of bucks on camera, so I'm curious to see what we got going on now. We got a lot of rain the last couple of weeks, so hopefully it's not super wet back there. I can still get around. It's getting closer and closer to the season. We're about a month away now from opening deer season here in Wisconsin, at least for archery. We're super excited to get back into the woods, get up in the tree stand, and start doing some hunting again. I'll probably go back one more time after this to check cameras, and then there's also an area where I want to set one of the TideWe ground blinds to try and get an archery kill out of this fall too as well. So probably only gonna be one more video after this of some summer scouting. Just don't want to be spending a whole lot of time back here when it gets closer to season. I don't want to be leaving a lot of scent back here, and obviously be spooking deer off of beds or anything like that as well. So as it starts to get a little closer, I'm going to start to leave this property alone until it comes to hunting time. But we're going to walk back today. I got my laptop with me. We're going to view everything that we got going on in the cameras right away, format the cards, get them emptied, and set to go for probably another 2 or 3 weeks here. Stick with us, stay tuned. If you guys are new here, definitely go down, hit that subscribe button. Let's see how big these bucks got over the last few weeks. A cactus, Wisconsin cactus right there. That is definitely something you wouldn't want to fall in. Tried to come midday, kind of lessen my chances of running into any deer. Even after all that rain we got, the water is still down pretty low, so that's good. Coming up to the first camera here. We're gonna go ahead, peel that off, open the SD card up, and see what we got hanging out in here. Well, June 30th, we had some buck movement. Guy's getting kind of big. Definitely by no means a giant, but we definitely have a lot of pictures on the camera since we checked it last. I think they've been hanging for about a month now. Just kind of play some of the photos that I got here. Obviously we got some bucks on camera. We got a lot of does on camera too. Some big does that got really close to the camera too. And a lot of these deer are not camera shy, so it's cool seeing a lot of these bucks though kind of grow throughout the year. Obviously we started the trail camera videos back in like May already, and just kind of watched them grow over the summer. And now we're going to get the chance to kind of follow these bucks all the way into archery season, hopefully. We're just going to keep following these bucks around, keep watching what they're doing, watching their behavior, kind of finding out what their travel patterns are through this property, and hopefully become successful this fall with a nice buck. But a lot of pictures on this camera. I'm going to go ahead, format this SD card, get it back into this camera, and then we're going to go ahead and check that next camera that's back behind me a little ways. Oh yeah, storm definitely knocked some brush down off the trees here. Camera's there. If you guys have seen the last video, this is the camera that we hung up a little higher. We did that because there's a pretty solid deer trail going through here, going this way. This deer trail actually goes all the way through to another camera that I have set up on a tree just over there. We're gonna take the card out of this one, put it in the computer, and see what we got. Obviously this deer trail is still being used, so we should have some pictures. Well, we got about the same mixture of deer on this camera as well, but we just have a lot more pictures. A lot of pictures of does, a lot of bucks too. There's a couple decent ones in there, as you can see these pictures here. There's some pretty nice sized bucks. Obviously there's not any like magnums that have like got me super excited yet. But I haven't gone through like all of the photos 100% yet either. But most of the deer that we have on here are some, decent sized bucks and a couple of does. We also got quite a few fawns on camera too that still have spots on them as of July. That's about all. We got a couple of raccoons, but other than that, that's about all we have on this camera right now. It's definitely good to see the deer movement, especially from the bucks too as well. That's obviously what we're targeting is a big buck this year. Not necessarily know if I'm going to shoot a big one off of this property or if it'll be somewhere else, but if I get the opportunity to have a decent sized buck on this piece of property and it's something that I've had on camera, it's just going to be really rewarding come fall. But it's still super cool to be able to come here and watch all these deer filter through this piece of property. I'm gonna go ahead, transfer all these photos onto my computer, format this card, and then go down about 100 yards, not even 50 yards that way. I have another camera set up on this trail and see if most of the deer are similar to what we had on this camera, or if they're breaking off somewhere from here to the other camera. But let's get this formatted and back into this camera and hang it back up. Here is the other camera. Well, no spider webs on this one at least. Let's open that bad boy up. Take the card out of here. We'll take a look at it. Okay, well, I'm not gonna lie, this stand, or this camera, is actually a bust. There isn't barely any deer movement going on in front of this camera, which is surprising. That means that those deer are actually turning off. They're not coming through here anymore. I don't know if it's just too thick back here, or if they're just using this trail over here as a trail to get to the food source that's on this side of the property. Basically, they're cutting off somewhere, so they are not actually coming to the stand, which is actually really good to know. I might have to think about moving this stand to a different location, because if I am sitting up there and they are coming out in front of that camera, they're turning somewhere, I might not actually get a shot. I might actually move this camera to a different tree, maybe a little closer to that trail, just to kind of see where they're turning off, so I can kind of get a better idea of where I want to set up this fall. But this is definitely good to know. So we had almost 100 pictures on that camera that's 50 yards away from here, and I think we only had like maybe 25 pictures on this camera. I'm gonna go ahead, format this card, get it back into that camera. We're gonna go place this camera in a different tree, and then head on over to the other cameras on the other north side of this property, sorry, the south side of this property, and see what we got going on over there. So I'm actually gonna hang this camera right on this tree here, and face it towards this intersection and see where these deer are moving. So they're not over there. They got to be turning somewhere here. So I'm gonna set this camera up here and see what we get. Memory card is formatted, and what I've been doing actually now on all of these cameras is I'm switching them over to photo and video mode. Now that we're getting a little closer to season, I think it'd be cool to get some video. So I'm switching these to 10-second videos with 1080p. Perfect. So now not only are we going to get pictures, we're also going to get videos. Battery says it's starting to get low, so hopefully they hold on there a little longer. Next time I come out, I'm going to have to bring some batteries along and replace them. But hopefully these will make it a little longer yet. We'll switch this to go. We'll close her up, and hopefully this will help us figure out where these deer are venturing off this intersection. Well, storm took down another tree. Luckily it's not where we had this camera set up, but it was close. If you guys remember this one, it's right on the field edge here. We set it up there, kind of cleared all the weeds out of this spot here so that we'd have a clear shot of what was happening out on this field edge. So I don't know, we'll check it, see if we got some pictures. We finally got some bigger bucks on camera now. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's for sure, I mean, possible 10-pointer here. He's kind of angled towards the camera wrong, so it's really tough to tell. But then there's also another buck kind of behind this brush that we didn't clear out. That's also with him. So 2 big bucks there. Those are the biggest ones I've seen so far today. Like I said, again, I haven't gone through all the photos, but there's definitely a lot of deer movement on this field edge. I've got tons of does and fawns. Unfortunately, those were the only 2 bucks that I've got on this camera so far, but there are a ton of does and fawns moving around on this field edge too as well. So that's great to see. I'm really excited about those 2 bucks, so I really hope that we start seeing them on some other cameras on the other parts of this property. Obviously this is more of like a funnel piece of property, so the deer kind of move through here, do their thing to get to these different types of agricultural fields that are around us, and they don't necessarily stick around on this piece of property. So sometimes you could see some bucks and they're gone and you never see them again. Unfortunately, it happens, but it's also a unique piece of property though too as well, because you can have deer come walking in that you might have never seen before on camera as well. So definitely a lot of stuff moving around. I'm gonna go ahead and dump all these onto the computer, put the SD card back in the camera, format it. Then we got one more camera to check that's kind of down in the swamp over here. This is the spot that I might be setting a TideWe blind onto as well. But let's just this one formatted, hung back up, good to go, and go check that other one. Looks like there's some deer movement back here though. There's some trails that are knocked down that these deer are definitely using. There's a deer bed here. One of the bigger reasons why these deer are using this right now as a bedding area so much is because it's surrounded by water. If you can see this creek, we're kind of like on an island with the way this water kind of snakes around on this property. So deer can bed over here and feel safe because they're basically going to be able to hear anything that's coming. If it does come over here, it's going to have to cross water to get here. So those deer will be able to hear pretty much anything crossing that water, letting them know that there's danger coming so they can get the heck out of here. So that's why those deer like bedding in here so much, and that's why we figured if we could get a stand kind of close to this bedding area, we thought, you know, it might be a good spot to sit in the morning, try to intercept those deer that are coming back to the bedding areas, or vice versa. So we're gonna go check this trail camera and see. Hopefully there's deer moving around back here. Obviously, if there's anything moving around this far from the camera, we're not gonna capture it. But if there are deer moving around, I'm assuming some of them probably would have walked in front of this camera at some point. Okay, well, we didn't have very many pictures of deer on this camera, but we've got the biggest buck that I've seen all day today checking cameras on this one right here. It looked like he was bedded down literally right here, unless he was standing, but I don't think he was standing. If he was standing, we would have seen like his full body. So unfortunately, he was bedded down right here, and I don't know if the camera didn't get him get up, or if the shot leg was there, if something spooked him and he moved, but he was there. Unfortunately, we only seen him once. I went through all the pictures on there to see if I could find him again, and I could only see him that one time. The only other deer pictures we got were a couple of does walking through here, but there is some deer movement back here. There's also that big buck. So I'm assuming what's happening is those bucks are coming back here. They're using this area as a bedding area, which we kind of figured, which is kind of why we wanted to get back here and potentially hunt this spot. So we're just going to have to be really picky on when we come back here, what kind of wind we have, and also what time of the day we're going to come back here and hunt this, because to get to this stand, you're literally walking through bedding areas. Like I said, I put the cameras on video because I'm not sure what these deer are doing, where they're going, if they're going to the west or if they're going to the east, you know, what type of path they're using to travel through this property. But I really want to figure that out, because that would be a nice buck to put on the ground this fall. But super exciting. I got this card formatted. I'm going to go ahead and put the card back in here, and we're going to go ahead and get out of here. We checked all the cameras. I'll probably go home, go through the pictures one more time just to make sure I don't find anything crazy, but we got some deer moving through this property, so we should have, hopefully, a successful fall. That's like walking through a jungle. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, this is the second time I've been back here now checking trail cameras, and we're probably going to be back here one more time before that to get that blind set up. I'll go through the cameras one more time and check them just to get some last minute ideas of what to do when the season does roll around here in literally a month. So super excited to get back in the woods though, get back here, do some hunting, see what we can see. I mean, I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to put a doe on the ground the first couple of weeks of season here at this property. So I'm excited for that. It's only going to make it more addicting, watching kind of all the pieces of the puzzle come together this fall and being able to put some nice deer on the ground, whether it's a doe or a buck. I am going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you guys again so much. If you are interested in checking out any TideWe gear, we got a lot of new great items coming out the next couple of months here that you guys are absolutely going to love. You can head on over to www.tidwe.com. You can also find our products available on Amazon as well. We always have awesome deals going on, especially going into hunting season here. There's going to be a lot of stuff on sale that you can definitely go ahead and get your hands on. We got some of the most comfortable boots, comfortable waders, heated clothing, stuff to keep you out in the woods, and quality gear that'll help you get the job done. So if that's what you're interested in, that's what you're looking for, definitely check TideWe out. We got all sorts of products that will help you when it comes to hunting season. But as always, keep living your passion. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.